You're listening to the Caramel Apples Podcast, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet. Are you ready for the highlights of the Chicago Fan Expo, the after show? In a word, Starstruck. With your host Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Hello once again, dear Orchard Archivers. We're fresh off of our Fan Expo Chicago adventures. And we are still on Cloud 9 after enjoying our ultra loaded Chicago affair. We're so glad to have been able to share it with you, our dear listeners.
That's right. But before we get to that Caramelicious topic, we would love for you to subscribe if you're loving our content. And feel free to say hello to us on social media. We love having conversation with you.
Yes.
And for those of you who are the caffeine lovers as well, cruise on over to buymeacoffee.com/RetroTrek Caramel Apples to see how you can give us a caffeine boost. We appreciate you. Thanks a latte.
All right. We really do appreciate you guys. So let's remind our listeners, Coop, how this was actually late summer. This was only a 2-day affair.
Yeah.
And it consisted of all but interesting road trip to and from, which we actually went over that right at the very beginning. Very entertaining fodder.
Yeah.
We actually have that, so we'll put that in the show notes. But it's like, Chicago, are you down? And we have reconfirmed that that's a hearty yes. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Chi-Town. And speaking of Chi-Town, also another highlight was, Coop and I are always talking about good pizza pie from different regions going.
Yeah, that pizza was top notch. It was so good. It's like if you could imagine stringy cheese on a pizza, that's what it had. The sauce was delicious. It was just the crust from top to bottom, it hit, right? It was so good.
It
So,
did. It was awesome.
yeah, shout out to Chicago for their pie. Thank you so much.
That's right. And we like to have good pizza pie. We always go on and on about New York pie, but this deep dish, wow.
Yes.
It rivals the rest of them. So we went through a whole episode talking about pizza and the regional styles that are offered out there, especially right here stateside. So we'll link that also in the show notes. We'll have to check that out. What's the deal about pizza?
Are all their songs about pizza?
That was a fun one too. I mean, I think the whole time we're talking, it's like, you ready? You ready for lunch? Are you ready for some brunch? Let's just go have a slice.
Yeah, and if you want to give us your opinions on this, leave it in the comments. Tag us on social media. What style do you like? You like New York pie, Chicago style? You like Detroit pan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or do you like that cardboard junk that's out there in mass quantities? Like, yeah, the brands. You know what we're talking about, listeners.
Yeah. Yeah. Without throwing them under the bus, which they kind of did to themselves. But, it is what it is at this point.
That's right. But the main reason for going to Chi-Town was for the actual Fan Expo there in Chicago and everything fun and memorable it had to offer, like, merch, specific cosplay, depending on who you're following, who you're a fan of in the realm of pop culture.
Right.
There's so many cool themes and characters. Not even just retro pop culture, but there was a good bit of that. We were impressed, because a lot of stuff is newer and things we are Gen X
Yeah.
are like, what is that exactly? I'm like, do you know what that is? Have you heard about that? And Coop's like,
Yeah.
I actually did, but I don't care. I mean, some new movie that's out this summer that everybody's going on about. I hadn't heard about it, but Coop was able to give me crumbs, and I'm kind of there. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like I can give the crumbs because I'd only heard about it, the whispers, but I hadn't even partaken of said event either. So it's like, oh, okay. We're both blind leading the blind.
Hey, the
But
life of a Gen X.
exactly. But as you mentioned, it's also very awesome to go to these events in whatever city you go to because I do believe you can get things that are specific to whatever location you were in. If you were in Philadelphia, you get something specific for that. In Dallas, you get something specific for that if you go to the right vendors or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. It's that gives you your own bit of nostalgia creating. I love it.
But then if you can't really relate to that, which most people can, but if you can't relate to that, there's always the general superheroes,
Yeah.
cartoons, video game characters, and the like. Um, but I don't know. It's just like anything that you can connect with, you
Yeah.
know. I think this is pretty universal, and the reason why we went was because there was going to be Star Wars themes there. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Yeah. We pause for the momentum of that occasion, right? It's like it just once it got built, it was just forward moving quickly, forward moving. And it did not disappoint. The event was top tier. It it hit all the right notes, right? It was so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So if you listeners have been following us over the last few weeks on our journey over this excitement, I mean, like Coop said, this was top tier stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was a late summer jaunt. We are now in the thick of fall. I mean, like it is autumn full swing. I mean, and how can we tell that? Poor Coop has a bad cold. I mean, she's
That's
cold
tough.
right now that she was fine weeks ago.
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
Right. I'm so sorry.
But I mean, she was a trooper and she's like, I still want to talk about this because that'll make me feel better. We need that eye candy RX, right?
Yeah. It cures what ails you.
Hey, I'm convinced. So who exactly are we gonna talk about?
Well, we're going to get into the fact that those events are so spectacular. They are fantastic, incredible, that they are all of those things for now, right? But you think back, you take a trip down memory lane, and it wasn't so much like this back in the day, like in the 80s. I don't know. What is it? San Diego's Comic Con?
Hmm.
I'm not sure when that actually came about, but I think that was like the first one. Have to fact check on that. But there might have been one or two events, but this wasn't like the mainstream. Like this is a traveling circuit type thing, right? Like I'm sure the vendors they go to all of them. Like this is a job for them now. I'm
Yeah.
sure they probably make most of their money going to these places now.
And what did you say that was in San Diego?
What's the matter with you?
Like, shut up, you.
And New York's a big one. Boston's a big one. There's a lot going on. They're in Canada. They're all over. They're in Europe, they're around the world, really. And then, of course, when you have the Star Wars celebration, which we must stop and talk about for a second, it will be here stateside in 2027 in April. Yay. So we'll see. Will the caramel apples get to dip their toes in that caramel sauce? We'll find out.
Let's hope so.
What's the matter with you?
She's like, will you stop? No, but seriously, like the Coop's point, we're excited about this because
Yeah.
we're Gen X.
Yes.
And from then versus now, like as a Gen Xer, you could have been starstruck about anybody coming and going.
Oh, yeah.
But back then, like it was, you saw their face on a magazine, a poster, on the TV or movie screen, and that was about it. Like maybe
Yes.
a once in a lifetime person to person meeting, but that wouldn't have been me and Coop's realm at all.
Not when you're growing up in Cornfield, USA.
No,
It just doesn't
not at
happen.
all. That's right. Does not happen.
But you were talking about kind of like around the time frame that you remember, things getting started.
Yes. So the cornfield, we were like, there's got to be a button around here so we can launch out of this mug. But I think that happened around mid-90s.
Yes, you know why? I know for a fact it did. There was a daytime star on television. I believe his name was Brian Datillo.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Wow, he was a hottie for sure back in the 90s. And
He
I don't even
was.
remember how I got to know of it. I think it might have been something they talked about on the radio station because, that's really all you had. I think the radio had mentioned that they were going to be, I don't know if they were just doing this, like going to all kinds of local malls or just whatever, but they came to our local mall.
In the cornfield.
Yes. It was like, how did they even find us on the map?
Oh,
But-
thank you, FM frequencies.
So thankfully, this was the first encounter of meeting somebody that we saw on TV. I mean, and it was like, he was a hottie. It was like, oh my gosh, he's right here, got a signed picture and got a picture with him. That was really, really cool. That was in, I'd like to say 94. So yeah, you're right. 90s, it probably really did get started.
That is cool beans. What way to reminisce there, Coop. That's maddening. That's crazy. And then, 3 years later or thereabouts, there was another chance meeting that we were travelers at this point.
Yes, yes.
And we'll just do cliff notes, but, we're travelers at this point. And we end up going south to Florida.
Yeah.
And this was in the height of the Latin craze. Like the culture was everything Latin. Ricky Martin was going strong, and
oh my goodness, yes.
Freestyle music, which we had a whole episode about that, so we'll link that in the show notes. But this was kind of like freestyle pop music, not quite EDM, but this group, I mean, of course, the reason why me and Coop even were like boop 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 was because they were eye candy. Talk about tunnel vision. This group, that's all we could see, talk about. That was on the agenda.
Yes, and it's hilarious because all of our little buddies, they knew, don't even talk to us about any other kind of cute guy. If he was not this group fine, there was no point even talking to you about him because it's like, yeah, they don't match. They don't rate. So They coined a phrase. So we were like, oh, okay, well, what does he look like?
Yeah, hot times 3, but success, as Batman and Robin says. Yeah, we actually we could cross that off the bucket list as well. That was awesome.
Right, yes. We were even able to get some things signed, for other people as well. It was really cool.
We kicked it a little bit, like we could get in, good access into some of the venues down there and some of the nicer restaurants and stuff. Because I mean, they were stars. Come on, I mean, like we were able to go from the cornfield to VIP. Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
We weren't mad.
No, no. Yes.
But yeah, we got photo
Crazy.
ops with them too. So that was a cool thing because I was like, okay, as the Jeffersons say, moving on up.
Well, we're moving on up to the side.
So fast forward to this year, well, even a little bit last year, but this year, I mean, straight up, like we're meeting people from big time movies. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars people, come on.
Yeah. I mean, like, you cannot go anywhere on this planet and say Star Wars and someone not say something, whether it's the new stuff, whether it's toys, Legos, just a t-shirt, whatever. Like, you can't go anywhere and someone not know what Star Wars is. Like, they
100%.
some sort of recognition of the brand. It's pretty crazy.
Talk about being starstruck. This is nuts.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yes, absolutely.
So thanks for joining us for the after show. So who are we gonna go and recap on, Coop?
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. We have Mr. Hayden himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Also, we have Ewan McGregor. And Orlando.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty crazy. Okay. Orlando.
Then we have Ewan McGregor. AKA Obi-Wan the Jedi.
Yay!
And who's the cherry on top, Coop?
The man who needs no introduction, Mr. Hayden Christensen. Please stand up.
That's what we're talking about. That is off the hook.
Yeah, that was, like you said, cherry on top. This was. I'm so glad that like, I'm sure there was other locations that they came together, and maybe Orlando was there. He doesn't do it a whole lot.
That's right.
So the fact he was also for this, like, I'm so glad it was stateside that we could go without really having to plan like months and months. I mean, we got on the plan quickly enough once we decided it was going to be a go. I mean, as soon as we could. But I mean, if it was going to be years in the making, like, it was just so glad it all worked out.
Yeah, because it was definitely worth the trip. It was definitely worth the time spent to, investigate this excitement. This is great.
Oh, absolutely. Like I know we've said it probably a billion times before, and we'll say it a billion and one. If you have an opportunity to go, you will have a good time.
Yeah.
Period. So.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, before we tie this up, that, they were three awesome personalities, but very three distinctive personalities.
Yes.
And they all did press conferences and they talked to the fans, so that we were grateful for that. But like the demeanor between each three was different. Who do you think was probably the most chill versus who do you think was like, where do you rank the three? You know, who was more lively? What do you think? Who? I mean, we kind of went through it in our episodes, but
Okay. I would definitely say the most lively would be Ewan.
yes,
I mean, so you ding ding ding, you feel the same way?
yes,
I would say the most down to earth, raw, very, I feel like he came across, not that Ewan wasn't, I think Ewan is who he is, right? He's very lively.
he was having fun.
But I would say Hayden came across as like, it seemed like you could be having a coffee with him and he would be the exact same keel. Like he just very even keel. Like, and
Yeah,
he just seems like a really cool, nice guy.
he does. He does. He was super chill.
Yeah, yeah. As far as Orlando, I I would like to think, I think he was probably, because he doesn't do this a whole lot, so he's probably, there's probably some reservations. I think he's got some things going on in his life right now that he
Mhm.
probably is worried what questions might come towards him, and he's probably like, I don't want to field all that stuff.
Which can't blame him.
Exactly. So, but I think as it went along, I think he probably felt a little better. But I think at the beginning, he probably really didn't know how it
Yeah.
was going to go.
Yeah, and his segment came first, so like he was kind
Yeah.
of like flying blind, where the other two, they were like, "Okay, we got this. This isn't crazy or anything."
Yeah, and they were there for 2 days, and Orlando was there for a day. So he had to do everything in, not even a 24-hour period, but he had to do
Mm,
everything from show beginning to show end. Like he had to fit all that in. Tired, not feeling good, whatever. It was
right,
all in that day. So
right, and that was what we went for. Those three big headliners right there. But then there was like John Cena there,
yes.
Rainn Wilson or Dwight from The Office.
Brandon Fraser, the National Lampoon's cast was there.
Yes, yes.
The Mummy cast was there. Trying to think, there was quite a few people. I believe there was some from the Guardians of the Galaxy. A couple of those girls were there, or
Okay, awesome,
actresses.
nice.
So yeah, there was a lot of people, a
There
lot of
was.
famous people.
There
Yeah,
was. I mean, and these things are always going on. That was just the recap for this one this year.
yeah.
I mean, we love doing this kind of stuff. So, will there be other opportunities come very near future? Hmm.
We'll find out.
Hmm.
That's it for this week's apple snack, but there's more where that came from. Stay tuned. These caramel apples aren't likely done being starstruck for long. See you on the other side.